Good afternoon, welcome to VANIK-IAS. We'll discuss current affair of 3rd May. First is regarding your genetic engineering appraisal committee. Genetic engineering appraisal committee is constituted under Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 and your geographical indication of goods registration and protection act 1999, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Environment Protection Act 1986. Right. See, if you observe option elimination, then geographical indication, it is one type of IPR, intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights do not have any relationship with genetic engineering, right? Intellectual property rights, they are given on the basis, specifically this geographical indication, this is given on the basis of a particular region, right? If a product belongs to a particular region, for example like Sambalpuri sari, then we can declare Sambalpuri sari as geographical indication. Sari belongs to only Sambalpur because they have a traditional knowledge on huge centuries of knowledge of making that particular sari in that particular area. So that is not related to genetical engineering. So this option can never be in the answer, right? Then genetic engineering not only related to food safety. Food is a very specific aspect. It is not related to genetic engineering. This can never happen just by common sense, right? If you are eliminating, then next is wildlife. Genetic engineering and wildlife. These two things are also completely different. Even if you don't know the answer also, if you like to match by logic, then also none of these options fit into the function of genetic engineering, right? So if there is only one option left, that is Environmental Protection Act 1986. This is because this is related to environment and that is associated with a huge range of activities, every aspect of environment. So Environment Protection Act 1986, it is constituted under Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee. Remember this genetic engineering appraisal committee, it is under Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, right? Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It is not under Science and Technology, remember. So, right. And another thing is that this Environment Protection Act 1986. This Environment Protection Act 1986, it gives the power to central government. It is based on the Stockholm Conference of 1972. It gives the power to central government to take various steps to ensure and for the protection of environment. Right. Okay. Next question. Question number 2. Proper design and effective implementation of RED++ program can significantly contribute to protection of biodiversity, resilience of forest ecosystem, poverty reduction. See, so here it is even asking about the applications or the significance of RED++. RED++ is reducing emissions. The let me tell you the full form. RED++ is reducing emission from deforestation, from deforestation 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 and forest degradation, right? REDD plus. It is developed by it is a party to UNFCCC, right? UNFCCC in 2005, right? Reducing emission from deforestation and forest degradation. It's developed by parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on climate change, right, in 2005. So, what is the significance? Protection of biodiversity, obviously, it is significance. Resilience of forest ecosystem, yes, to increase the resilience of forest ecosystem, to increase the carbon stock, forest carbon stock, right, and to increase the carbon sink. Poverty reduction, yes, in that it will lead to poverty reduction because environment, by safeguarding environment, you will restore the forest resources, and obviously that will help the local people. So all the three options, whenever there is some application based question, what are the significance, what are the applications? In majority of the cases, then this 1, 2, 3 all option will be the right option. Next, Gadgil and Committee report and Kosturi Rangan Committee report sometimes seen in the news are related to what? They are related to Western Ghat, right? They are for conservation of biodiversity of Western Ghat. These two these two committees were established, right? Kasturi Rangan committee recommended that Kasturi Rangan committee recommended 37% of total area, 37% of total area of Western Ghats should be declared as eco-sensitive area or ESA. Eco-sensitive area or ESA, that should be declared. But government, why Karnataka government opposed it? Because that will adversely affect the local population, right? So that is the recommendation of Kasturi Rangan committee. Whereas Madhav Gadgil committee in 2011, Madhav Gadgil committee in 2011 it said that all of the Western Ghats should be declared eco-sensitive area. All of Western Ghat should be declared eco-sensitive area, sensitive area. Kasturangan Committee asked for 37%. It asked for all of the Western Ghat, right? Because Western Ghat possesses a huge biodiversity, and we have to protect it because we have to increase our forest cover to 33%. We have to ensure sustainable development and also to reduce the carbon emission by half by 2030, as we have promised in the Glasgow summit. So, protection of Western Ghats. These protection of Western Ghats. Okay. Anabolic steroids have been in use. Consider the following statement with respect to anabolic steroid. What is this anabolic steroid? It is essentially natural male hormone. First statement is anabolic steroid is natural male hormone. Second is it helps to treat anemia. Which of the four correct statement? See, this is not natural. This is lab-made hormone. Lab-made, right? Lab-made version of male hormone testosterone. Male testosterone. Lab-made male testosterone. Right? Male testosterone. That will increase mass. Especially it is increases mass. It increases mass of a person, and it especially it lead to it by used by bodybuilders, right? Bodybuilders. Anabolic steroids. It helps to treat anemia, yes, because mass increases mean blood and muscle increases, so that helps to treat anemia. They have various negative impacts as well. For example, that may lead to hair loss, that may lead to um, other um, um, other problems in our body, right? So should not be used. Generally, this should not be used because sometimes there are repercussions. So two only is the only answer. This is not natural. This is lab made hormone, that is male testosterone, anabolic steroid. Then consider the following. Consider the following. India energy ecosystem is highly carbon intensive. Yes, highly carbon intensive means we have 85%. We are, for example, our majorly we are our energy is from Coal and petroleum, right? Coal and petroleum. So about 30 or 38% of primary energy is consumed. Primary energy is consumed for power generation. Yes, coal is primarily coal. Presently, there is a scarcity of coal as because by various media reports. So these both statements are right. The term e-charak is recently in news is related to what? Labor insurance, textile industry, both and C or medicinal plants. C. We know that there is Charak Samhita, Susruta Samhita, Susruta Samhita. These are ancient Indian texts, right? They are related to medicine and healthcare. Or Patanjali Yoga Sutras, medicine and healthcare in ancient India books. So if you are getting that name, every name has some relevance. There is something like e-charak, then that must be related to medicinal plants because charak Samhita it is related to medicine. In the name of charak, e-charak has been established. What is this e-charak? By e-charak, medicinal plants will be sold. Right? It is an online market portal. It's an online market portal to sell medicinal plants. So B is the answer. Right? E-charak. It was it was launched by National Medical Plants Board. Launched by National Medical Medicinal Plants Board. National Medicinal Plants Board. Right, that is e-charak. Okay, next question. Consider the following statements. The status of Delhi as a union territory under Schedule 1 of the Constitution. Just a second. Okay. Question number 7. Consider the following statement. The status of Delhi is an union territory under Schedule 1 of the Constitution. Chief Minister of Delhi is appointed by Lieutenant Governor. So, which of the following statements are not correct? Right? It's an UT. We know the status of Delhi is an UT, but it has a legislature. Right? Legislature with UT. It is not. He is not appointed by lieutenant governor. He is appointed by the president of India, right? And another thing is that, remember, this Delhi government, it has constitutional status, mm, that is related to, that is Article 239 AA. It was introduced in 69th Constitutional Amendment. Article 239 AA, this declares that, that Delhi is a union territory, right? That to be administered by a lieutenant governor who will work the aid and advice of legislative assembly. So 2 is the only answer that is not correct. Article 239A, 69 amendment, and right. Okay, next. Then consider the following statements. Which of the following statements are correct? First of all, we'll say whether it is correct or not correct. The share of jute used in sacks has been increased during last 10 years. Share of jute used for sacks has been increased in last 10 years. Right. The jute used manufacturing other products. The jute is used for manufacturing other products such as furnishing materials, fashion accessories, floor covering, has declined during last 10 years. There is no legal backup mandate for the use of jute bags uh, of food jute bag for package of food grains. India is largest producer of jute, followed by Bangladesh. Yes, this is right. Right. This share of jute is used for manufacturing other products, uh, that has declined in last 10 years. Right. Gradually, we are moving towards the plastic and other materials. So this is also right. By common sense, we can this is said right. Then share of jute sacks has been increased during last 10 years. Why it has increased? Is it really increased or not? See, there is government has mandated it. Government has mandated that jute must be used by a cabinet, cabinet approval. Government has mandated that jute must be used for packing of these food grains. That's why, uh, if so, three options all are correct except three. This is wrong. So all others are correct except three answer. That is why the increase in last 10 years, because government made it mandatory that jute sacks should be used for collection of food grains. Right. Next, what is jute? Regarding jute, let's learn it. Ideal temperature is 25 degree to 35 degrees Celsius. Remember, rainfall is little bit high, that is 150 degrees Celsius, 150 cm to 250 cm. Rainfall is ideal for jute. Soil type should be well drained alluvial soil. Right. Well drained alluvial soil will be best for jute. And India, Bangladesh, China, Thailand, these are the India is top highest producer, then Bangladesh, then China, then Thailand. They are jute producing countries. India is world's largest producer of jute. Right. Usually in the Ganga Brahmaputra Delta, it is produced in huge manner. It is also called as golden fiber. Remember, jute is also called as golden fiber. Okay, next. So, which of the following is not a tributary of Brahmaputra River in India? See, Subansiri it's the tributary, Manas is tributary, Dhansiri was a tributary, and which are not tributary, then it is the Tista is not the tributary. So Tista is the answer. C is the answer. Remember, Brahmaputra is called as Sangpo in in Tibet region, right? In Tibet, it is called as Sang. Then it is source. What is the source of Brahmaputra river? It is Chemayangdung Glacier. Chemayangdung Glacier of Kailas Range. Of Kailas Range. So this is where River Brahmaputra has originated. Right. Next. So question number 10. Consider the following statements. India is third largest producer of salt. India is largest producer of iodized salt followed by China. Which of the following is incorrect statement? Incorrect statement. Find out the incorrect statement. Incorrect statement. It is incorrect. It is largest producer of iodized salt followed by China. This is wrong. India is third largest producer of salt. One is right. So the objective question discussion completed. We'll start discussing prelims facts and two mains topic. First, let's discuss some prelims facts. Then I will come to the mains. Okay, farmer distress index. Farmer distress index. These are prelim facts. Uh, it has launched by NABARD. Remember, FDI, Farmer Distress Index. It is launched by NABARD. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD, is planning to formulate a farmer distress index to track, identify, and support needy and distressed farmers. Right? In India, around 78% of our 70% of our population are directly or indirectly related to farming, and there is because of climate change, because of global warming, because of and there is huge area of rainfed. There is so much drought in areas of some areas of the, for example, Rayalaseema areas of Telangana, then Kachra region of Gujarat, then your some central India regions, they are suffering from drought. There are many times there are floods also, right? In various region, coastal districts, right? For example, in Brahmaputra, it is called a river of sorrow. There is Damodar river. So they are also called floods in many areas. So there are farmer distress are getting increased, and also even today, not half of the areas are rain fed, right? They're dependent on rain. So farmer distress about those things are getting increased. The input cost of farming is also increasing. In such a scenario, it will be better to track and identify the needy of distressed farmers. Farmer district index. What it will How it will help? If we are creating farmer distress index, then we will know that in which area the requirement is huge. Then only that will help us in our policy making to reduce their distress, right? About farmer distress index, it can integrate the available high frequency data and on key agricultural variables like deviation of monsoon rains, excessive rainfall, drought, dry spells, variation in temperature, soil moisture, and yield of major crops in the district, among others. It can be used by policymakers and the government to plan and design a timely and targeted method. Government to plan and design a timely and targeted method of the supporting distressed farmers. Depending on the support that will help used by the policymakers, right, in the governments to plan. Suppose in a particular area we know that this area is the farmer distress index is highest, so most amount funds that should be given to those areas, right? Without presently, for example, that will be become, I mean, it will be better. Suppose we have to make irrigation facilities. Then first we should develop the irrigation facilities in those areas where farmer distress index is more. Depending on the level of distress, government and financial institution can decide an appropriate package of support instead of the current practice of doling out distress packages to all the farmers across the board. Right? At present, there is farmer support is going to all the farmers. Right? Everybody is getting the same benefit, but irrespective of their status or distress level. So here decentralized, or we can say differential treatment. Differential treatment means, in quality, differential treatment means, for example, women and men, they should not be, suppose there is reservation of women, right? There is education facilities for women, but there is no education, I mean, free education facilities for men in certain schools, right? Or colleges, right? For example, there is lack of less fees for women candidates. Why? That is differential treatment. Why is this differential treatment? This differential treatment is to ensure equality in the society. Although you will not enjoy equality in that particular action of the society, but they will ensure equality, right? As there is a gap of 10% between male and women education, for example, then to reduce that gap, we have to promote women education, that we call as differential treatment. So in case of agriculture also, rather than spending money for all the farmers, based on this distress index, if you are spending money, then that will be better, right? That we call as differential treatment. It won't be uniform across the country, as it changes from place to place depending on the stress levels, right? For example, Ganga Brahmaputra Delta or from Ganga Jamuna Delta region, these are high productive regions, right? There is there is no such chances of drought or lack of water. For example, in case of Odisha, there is the Bargad and Western Odisha region near the Hirakud Dam. It's a huge area. It is called a rice bowl of Odisha because there is a huge cultivation because of the various canals that emerge out of the dam. But other areas are facing, some other areas are facing the challenges. Right? It won't be uniform across the country as it changes from place to place depending on the stress level. Next. Significance. According to study, more than 60% of very high and high districts, small and marginal farmers did not receive farm loan waiver benefits. More than 60% of very high and high districts, small and marginal farmers did not receive farm loan waiver benefits. More than 60%. All the very high and high districts, they do not receive farm loan waiver because this is a political aspect. Where there is election and where there is strong political or I mean strong political organizational power, they only get this farm loan waiver. Especially the rich farmers, they get farm loan waiver, but not the marginal farmers. The exclusion rate is also 60% of the medium stress category. Exclusion rate is 60% medium distress category of small and marginal farmers. It will help really the distressed farmers. Right? It will also help the entire financial sector, government departments, insurance companies. Right? This farmer distress index will also help insurance companies in formulating their policies. Right? Where risk is high, then obviously, accordingly, they will make their policy according to that. Museums grant scheme. What is this museums grant scheme? Union Ministry of Culture has granted 3.75 crores under the organization of museum schemes for the 5 crore project Eluru town in Andhra Pradesh. 5 crore project in the Eluru town of Andhra Pradesh. Ministry has granted 3.5 crores. What is a museum? As per ICOM, International Council of Museums, a museum is a non-profit format institution in the service of society and its development, open to public, which acquires, conserves, researches, communicates and exhibits tangible and intangible heritage of humanity and it environment its environment for the purpose of education, study and enjoyment. That is a museum. Right. Museum grant scheme. What is it was launched in 2013. Museum grant scheme launched in 2013 to provide financial assistance to state governments, autonomous bodies, local bodies, societies, trust, registered under Society Act to set up new museums as well as the development of the existing museums. To develop at least one central state government museum located in the state capital each year. At least one museum need to be developed each year. Component 1, it has three components. One is establishment and development of district and regional museums. Under the component, museums have been classified into two categories. Category 1, government and owned state level museums, renowned museums with acquisite collections, and category 2 of all other museums. Component B is development of museums in state capitals, right? For regional museums and state museums, this is component B, and component C is obviously your museums at national level under large scale or establishment development of large scale museums, public private partnership mode. This is the component proposed by establishing large scale museums jointly by state governments, civil society and private public partnership mode. Maximum max assistance provided under the component is 40% of project cost, subject to a maximum of 20 crore per museum, right? Maximum 20 crore can be spent in one museum. Okay, next we will discuss the main topic that is related to cyber security, right? New cyber security guidelines by Sarc. New cyber security guidelines by Sarc. It has recently Indian Computer Agency, an emergency response team Sarc has issued new guidelines for cyber incidents. For the guidelines, the Indian Computer Agency response team it has mandated that all cyber security incidents must be informed to it by respective companies within 6 hours of either being made aware of the incident or becoming aware itself. All cybersecurity incident must be informed to the respective companies, right? For example, there is a transaction on SBI that is about cybersecurity, and this need to be informed to those SBI within 6 hours. Service providers, intermediaries, data centers, companies, government organization enable logs of all their ICT system, maintain them securely for a rolling period of 180 days. These are mandatory provisions, right? They will maintain them, enable logs of all their ICT system and maintain them securely for a rolling period of 180 days. What are the incidents? It includes targeted scanning or probably critical network systems, compromise of critical system information, unauthorized access of data. All these things are included in the cyber security guidelines. That is, for example, if somebody is mm, taking some critical information from your system or data from your system, right, and scanning your critical networks or a particular website, all these things that can be calculated as the it can be taken as a cyber security fraud and that can be uh, investigated. Main information, maintain information, virtual asset service providers, virtual asset exchange provider, custodian wallet service providers shall maintain all the information they have gathered as a part of know your customer process and record financial transaction for a period of 5 years. There must be KYC of all these wallets, for example, Paytm wallets, these PhonePe wallets, and there will be KYC. and they will record the financial transaction for a period of 5 years. Information retrieval. With respect to transaction records, accurate information shall be maintained in such a way that individual transaction can be reconstructed. Individual transaction can be reconstructed. It is to be done along with relevant elements comprising of but not limited to information to identification, relevant parties including IP address, time span, time zone, all these things need to be relevant element. That means IP address from which mobile it is done, which from which at which websites, at what time, and what in what which area location. All these things need to be, it is done with the relevant elements comprising but not limited to transaction ID. All these things need to be stored. And public keys, address accounts involved, right? Address and accounts involved. Suppose you are transacting money your money to another account, to a family member, and you if you complain, they must inform you that you are sending money to this account, right? All these things they have to store themselves. The amount transferred, all these things information, this can be information retrieval. After suppose you are saying that after 1 month of your transaction, you are saying that this particular transaction is not according to my choice, then they will investigate, and after that, after the investigation, they will inform that okay, this is the to this account we have sent this much amount of money. So your account data, the receiver's account data, the transaction ID, the time zone, the time, those time stamps, IP address at which platform you have done, all these data will be stored. And these financial wallets, they will ensure that KYC must be done. If you are making your KYC, what will happen? That will be easy to detect to whom you are sending, who is receiving. That is why KYC is essential. Know your customer. The reason for new guidelines. The reason for new guidelines is the course handling cyber incidents in interaction with the and interaction with the constituency had certain gaps causing the hindrance and analysis of breach the incidents. Right. Recently, cyber attacks are getting increased because of development of high speed internet and also high speed technology. Cyber security is one of the prime concern. Right. BMC Krishna Committee was established for cyber security. It has given various recommendations regarding cyber security, and the government has established various organizations because of it. And also by international, there is international cooperation with various countries so far as cyber security is concerned, because there are various type of viruses, various type of threat every day. There are financial frauds. So all these things, new guidelines must be updated to cope with the modern challenges. Issue at present system, accurate information relating to customers of subscribers were not present. Accurate informations are not present with the present system. Most of the information is either deleted or not stored at all. They must be stored, right? So that they can give the information if any doubt arises. Proper maintenance or reporting of the data was missing. Personal data leakage has also been troublesome issue. Some companies continue to ignore alerts by cybersecurity researchers and acted only after the data was made public, right? So there is also issue of data leakage. There is no safeguard regarding data. Whatever you are, suppose you are making a transaction with a financial company, then they should not have your data. And thus, if they have your data, they should not be leaked to the public platform. Users are not informed that a data breach and hence are not able to protect themselves from cyber crimes. They don't know that their data breach already happened. Right? Somebody knows about your, for example, your card number or debit card number, but you that is already information is leaked, but you are not aware of. They will just simply send you an OTP for a transaction, and if you are not aware of the digital literacy, if you are not aware, if you are not aware regarding the financial literacy, then what will happen? Then there will be financial fraud. Every day, such type of frauds are happening. Indian Computer Agency Emergency Response Team (CERT) this is the organization. This has been operational since January 2004. The constituents of CERT Indian Cyber Security is the Indian Cyber Community. CERT in the National Nodal Agency responding computer security incidents as and when they occur. power. C13 is empowered under Section 70B of the Information Technology Act to collect, analyze, disseminate information on cyber incidents. This is the power of CERT. It has been designated to serve the national agency to perform the following functions. What are the functions? Collection, analysis, dissemination of information in cyber incidents. Right? Collection, analysis, and dissemination of information or data in case of cyber incidents. Forecast and alert cyber security incidents. Right? That forecast and alert. It is going to happen. Right? Many times you will get the notification from the from the concerned bank as well. Emergency measures handling cyber security incidents, coordination of cyber incidents, response activities. If something is happen, you can report to certain and they will take action. Right? Issue guideline of the advisories, vulnerability notes, white paper relating to information security practices. White paper relating to information security practices, procedures, prevention, response, reporting of cyber incidents, such other functions related to cyber security as may be prescribed. So all the functions regarding cyber security is performed by C sort in, that is CRT in. What are the reasons of increasing cyber attacks? Adverse relationship with China. Yes, China is engaging and getting engaged with such activities. China is considered as one of the leaders of information technology. Therefore, it is expected to have capability to disable, partially interrupt in the information technology services in another country. Indian government has banned more than 50 applications from Chinese applications because there alleged there is allegation of they are leaking data from the system. So there is adverse relationship with China is also calling cyber attacks, or that is called as cyber warfare. Asymmetric and covert warfare. Unlike conventional warfare, loss of lives, eyeball to eyeball situations. Cyber warfare is a covert warfare with scope of plausible deniability. That is, governments can deny their involvement even when they are caught. Therefore, cyber warfare is increasingly become the chosen space for conflict between the nations. Cyber warfare has increasingly become the chosen space. That's why government can say that no, we are not engaged, although they are getting engaged in such activities. Increasing dependency on technology. As we grow faster, more and more systems are becoming shifted to virtual space and promote access easy use. However, the downside of this trend has been increased vulnerability of such system in cyber attacks. Right? In in a digital world, privacy is a myth. It is said. So so now we're getting more and more dependent on technology, and for that we are providing various information, our location, our um, every time zone, location, everything we are sharing with them, our banking data, our information, all the informations are in digital platform. So that which makes us vulnerable to such data breach. Government steps to ensure cyber security. Institutional structure. India has a well-organized institutional structure to regulate, strengthen national information technology system across the country. This includes National Cyber Security Council, National Cyber Security Council, as well as Computer Emergency Response Team India, that is SOT-IN, and National Cyber Security Council. These are the organizational structure to counter cyber security, cyber insecurity, right? Or banning of potential unsafe apps. Recently, government of India has banned many apps, mostly Chinese origin, found to unsafe and uses. They are called as Trojan, right? These apps are called as Trojan virus. Trojan virus means that they will come to your mobile for a particular purpose. They will do some another thing, right? There is especially the cleaning apps. Cleaning apps, they will say that we are cleaning the wastes in your memory or in the system, but ultimately they will take the information. So they'll enter the system for one particular work, they will do another work in the system. They're called as Trojan, especially Chinese apps. The apps are allegedly transferring data to the servers located outside India and didn't have the proper safeguards to ensure that private data of Indian citizens are protected from unauthorized access. Then personal data protection bill. The bill mandates, it has not get passed yet. The bill mandates strengthening of data infrastructure by the private companies to safeguard data of individuals. Therefore, it is a focus on including private companies in the ambit of data protection rather than restricting it to the government only. Private companies, right? If when you open a particular app, it will say that give us the permission of your phone contacts, with the permission of your gallery, even if that is not necessary, right? Even if that is not necessary, they will ask for your contact, they will ask for your gallery, every information, they will ask every permission, right? The problem is that if you are not giving those permission, they will ask it again and again, and people are not aware it about it. They give their permission. Another thing is that in some cases, even if that is not necessary, if you are not giving the permission, you will not be able to use that application. So that is why almost they are taking the permissions forcefully, and who will verify it whether how it is taken or not. All these guidelines, they will be, and that will be done by personal data protection bill, but unfortunately it has not passed yet, right? Upcoming cyber security strategy aims to prepare comprehensive document preparing for dealing with cyber attacks and securing cyberspace in the country. For example, the strategy identifies three stages. One is pre-attack preparatory stage, that means in stage system gaps identified and they are plugged in. It's focused on strengthening the defense mechanism and firewalls, keeping the system up to date, and potential threat is avoided. System is not compromised. Pre-attack preparatory phase, for example, if you are using a mobile, you have to update it regularly, right? That is one type of pre-attack preparatory phase, right? Regularly, you must update your system. Okay, next. During the attack, at the time of attack, the focus is on on stopping it as soon as possible. Stopping it, stopping it as soon as possible, and minimizing the damage to the system. Also, it is to be ensured that critical assets and data are not lost. During the attack, it should be the focus is stopping it as soon as possible from a bank account. Suppose somebody has got your bank account and it has taken already some money. It has taken. Then how to stop immediately? Right. Another is post attack. After the post attack, or the system is restored to normalcy, focus on identifying the loopholes in the gap of the system. How it was possible, that need to identify it, and that undertaking the such reaction could have swift and creating standard operating procedure in case of similar future attacks. So this multi causes or addressing those loopholes that must be done. But the challenges with cybersecurity, low digital literacy among the general public, right? They don't know whoever there is some of us, you will get huge amount of money by this, you will we have won 5 lakhs, such type of messages are coming, right? Or in an iPhone, click on this link. Never click on any unknown link. First of all, never browse on I mean go to unidentified websites usually, or do not download from those websites. Or, and another thing is regularly update your mobile, right? All these things need to be done. And do not click on unknown links. Most of all, do not use such applications that are downloaded from unverified websites. These digital literacy do not have among with the people, and that is why there is incidence of cyber security, right? Then vulnerable points in the system. There is a need to find and address vulnerable points in the system which might unauthorized enter to the system. For example, it is expected that the sensitive nuclear data is protected by heavy encryption, but the users may be vulnerable to human errors like accessing the system, right? That there will be human errors may happen getting the vulnerable system, and maybe that those data may be leaked. Then state sponsored cyber attacks. The problem that with such state sponsored cyber attacks on unlimited funding received by the hackers to break the current system, from example from China. This means that to counter such threats from China and other countries, we need to allocate sufficient resources which can proportionally deter the systems of being compromised. We have to develop such a system that they cannot be approached by such Chinese agents. They are also taking various research paper also, right? You have, for example, you will make a research in research, and you will keep in digital platform. Chinese, it is happening that Chinese people are taking it, and they will publish it. What you have created for the past time, you will see the plagiarism issue if you are a PhD student. Such things are happening, and rest. and they're getting state sponsor, right? Government is standing in government. Maybe they are giving a huge amount of money to these such entities. And what need to be done? Way ahead. Increased awareness and monitoring in the era of cyber wars. The only one that potential prevent vulnerability is information control. We need to enhance general awareness levels of government installation as well as general public to counter such threats. Awareness, right? Digital awareness. And strengthening policy and ecosystem. Futuristic national cybersecurity policy, right? Adequate resources and address the concern of stakeholders. And preempting the cyber attacks, there is a need to invest in the right tools and technologies apart from human resources, which can predict and detect cyber attacks early, so that preventive steps could be taken while the time is still on our side. Preempting cyber attacks, preventive steps, right? Like operating the mobile regularly. Another thing, capacity building. Unlike other sectors require huge machinery equipment, information technology, one sector highly dependent on the skill of human resources more than anything else. So capacity building training is essential. We have only 10% of world skilled professionals across information and technology concern, where USA has 40%. We have to increase our data scientists, right? Then continuous testing. There is a need to conduct regular and frequent checks of the existing system by bringing ethical hackers or experts to board, so that if there is any chinks in the system, they can be addressed swiftly before anyone exploited by the hackers. So use of ethical hackers, that is continuous testing. Partnership with private sector participation in research and development of institution, that can be done. There is a need to collaborate and cooperate with the erecting defense against the outside intruders who try to gain the authorized entry to the system. And classification and prioritization of the assets. Although all the sectors are important, need to protect it from the outside intrusion, that need to be classified. That means those who are highly important, they must be given high security. This include power energy systems, which might lead to cascading effect in the economy. Supply of power is critical, so these things need to be prioritized. Right, sharing of best practices. Cyber systems are extensive in nature, also staggered across spectrum. Therefore, makes it to collaborate experience with different entities, a comprehensive knowledge base, right? Cooperating with other countries, right? Suppose different countries have different technologies and cooperating in cyber security or combined research. For example, two, three companies they come together and invest huge amount of money, share their knowledge regarding cyber security, and they can help each other. Okay, so the question is regarding future of Sarc. Try to write it. The future of Sarc remains bleak due to India's interest to take a lead in the work in collective towards a secure and prosperous South Asia. Critically analyze prosperous South Asia. It was right. Just in right introduction about Sarc. Right, introduction about Sarc when it started 1985. What are the objectives? Right. Then why, what are region, why the region, what are the regions why the future is bleak? Because India is not interested, or there is huge ultranationalism. Another thing is that there is India and Pakistan issues. These are the issues, right? Issues in case of Sarc, organized lack of organized leadership. There is huge asymmetry in the Sarc, one big country and all others are small country, right? Then how it is important, why it is important South Asian countries, that must be, you must write that. For ensuring regional security, right? For trade and development, there should be removal of, by dialogue and by dialogue there should be removal of the tensions between India and other countries like Pakistan. So all these things, try to write this answer. Then what are the way forward, what need to be done to revive the Sarc? India is now focusing more on BIMSTEC rather than on Sarc after the Uri attack, right? After the terrorist attack, India is trying to isolate Pakistan, and it is more focusing on the BIMSTEC than the Sarc, because in BIMSTEC there is no Pakistan. And Sarc must learn from ASEAN, because ASEAN is a big successful organization. They have a huge achievement. So we have to also work in that regard. So various way forward what can be taken to develop Sarc, right? So here the lecture end. Like this video, share this video, and encourage us. And you can mention what else we can do for you in the comment section also. uh, Thank you.